Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Yo, Allstar Jr. done turned self-defense into 99 years by making videos and songs and Ben 10 dances. I mean, what is going on? Y'all watching this social media play out right in front of you. I'm gonna break this down and explain to you why he's even getting charged now in the state, even after they said it was self-defense. And I know everybody's saying, but they said it was self-defense and to stand your law ground. And he went with it. But let's get this party started. All right? Yo, check it out. We're going to play the news clip and we're going to break it down from there because the news had a whole lot to say. And that's what we need to do right now. All right, let's ride.
After a shooting inside an Upper Kirby restaurant left 2 people with life-altering injuries.
That's all according to the new federal indictment detailing what investigators say happened inside Confessions and in front of customers back on April 8th. ABC 13's Tony Atkins live outside Confessions tonight.
And Tony, according to the indictment, investigators say the suspect even posted about the shooting on social media.
Yeah, Erica, they also say he made music videos referencing the shooting just days after it happened here. And tonight we're learning more about what federal investigators say happened that night. Jeremy Ford, better known as Michigan rapper Allstar Jr., is now in custody. He picked up a federal charge in connection to the shooting at the restaurant Confessions on April 8th. The U.S. Attorney's Office charged the 36-year-old rapper with unlawful possession of a weapon as a convicted felon. The complaint says he was prohibited from having a gun following a 2014 home invasion conviction. Court documents detail more about what happened the night 3 people were shot at Confessions, saying it could have started as an attempt to take the rapper's chain. Court documents say it turned physical and a gun fell. Ford allegedly picked it up and began shooting as people ran to an elevator for their lives.
The individual, again, that was being robbed or assaulted, and I guess you would consider it a robbery as physically as they were being with this guy. Once he finally presented the weapon and started shooting, he fled on foot, and we don't know where he went from that time.
Surveillance video in the indictment show the man investigators identified as Ford firing the gun.
Now, you see how that look, right? All you youngins look and say, look, he going hard. He busting off. He in action. But now, he's in another kind of action. He's in action in a courtroom, fighting for his life and liberty. Turning stand your ground, self-defense, as they just said, into 99 years. And we're going to break that down and we're going to let this finish playing out. I'm going to show you how he turned this into 99 years. See how gangster he look? Yeah, right. That's what you want. But that's what we're telling over Unique Mecca Audio, that ain't where you're trying to go, man. Let's ride.
And at one point turning toward one of the men lying on the ground, shooting them as they laid motionless.
Right there, where they said that he went at one of the victims, alleged robbers, while on the ground as he laid there motionless, and he continued to fire at him. See, the way the law works, right? Let's ride. The way the law works is, if somebody's trying to rob you, right? I'm gonna give you a case. I ain't give you the name, but who knows, no, who don't know, don't need to know. All right, now, it was a dude, he going through the projects, Rasta, got his head up in the big Rasta tam, they called it back then, the big leather hat, right? And dude rolls up on him and he robs him for 5 pounds he carrying the duffel bag. So dude takes it and he turns around to run and dude grabs his gun out and he shoots him in the back while he's running. And then he shot him 2 more times because he was chasing him down. So he didn't just squeeze once. He said, you know, he went 3 times. So now he goes in and he claims self-defense because the dude had a gun on and robbed him. And I know everybody's saying the first thing come to their mind, okay, he was turning around running, so his life wasn't in danger. No, his life was still in danger. He still had a gun. He could still be moving. So his object now was to put him down like a rabid dog. And that's the law, as raw as it sounds. So now he runs up on dude, and when he run up on dude, he catch it right. Oh, hold up, man, hold up. I ain't even got no music in this, and I'm getting some music in, right? So now he run up on him. So when he runs up on him, he shoots him 2 more times. He go to court, he calls self-defense. When he calls self-defense, the judge said, nah, you can't get the self-defense because when you fired the first shot and saw the first sign of blood or the first sign of neutralizing the attacker, you're supposed to snap out your temporary insanity. From the first sight of that, you're supposed to snap back out. So if you didn't snap back out, that means you was out there. And that means outside the realms of self-defense. Now it was more like revenge or get back. Some form of anger, right? So he blew that and he couldn't use that defense, right? So that's how that went, right? All right, so let's get back to the news.
Another surveillance photo shows him allegedly trying to wipe and leave the gun on the hostess stand at the restaurant.
Now, they just showed him trying to hide the gun and all that, right? So he trying to hide the gun. That means he knew exactly what he was doing if he's trying to hide the gun. So that means he knew he was definitely a legal felon in possession of a gun, but to go back and make the videos and the rap videos and all that, that's what really just screwed everything up, you know, for him. Let's
Since the shooting, investigators say the rapper traveled back to Michigan, where he posted videos on social media and released a music video that, according to the indictment, referenced the restaurant and the shooting itself.
You should know. HPD on Instagram post was beautiful. I ain't the one, that's why your leak turned to a murder.
2 people were injured in the shooting, and the indictment says one of the victims lost sensation in his legs because of one of the injuries. A second victim allegedly lost his right index finger. Records say the third person shot had minor injuries and wasn't part of the confrontation. I visited Confessions and spoke with the owner about the arrest. In a statement, he says they're thankful for the work law enforcement has done, adding they've taken additional steps to ensure safety measures since the shooting.
So that's where we at, right? All that havoc caused, and that's what we're trying to tell you and prevent you from going down over here, Unique Mecca Audio, right? This brother sat there and all that was going on, him and this man now, all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. What do we have to do to keep everybody together is all I want to know. Right? So let's take that down, right? Let's show you who we're talking about. And I just want to say, right? Let me get some music up here too. I feel like some music with this. All right? I just want to say, Allstar Jr., one extra move turned self-defense into 99 years. And we're going to break that down, right? Listen, this is not about gossip. This is not about rap. This is about principles. This is about the law. This is about one moment turning into a lifetime. Allstar Jr. is now looking at spending the rest of his days in prison for life. His legal name, Jeremy Christopher Ford, is now facing state charges in Harris County. And the charges are serious. Aggravated assault, causing traumatic brain or spine injury. That's where the time jumped. That's where this case changed. Because this is no longer about defending yourself. This is about what happened after the man was allegedly down. That's what the state is coming with. Remember, we talking about two different things here. We talking about the state and the feds. The feds just cared about, did he possess the gun? That's all the feds care about. Did he touch the gun for a millisecond? If he did, he's in violation of the statute, felon in possession of a gun. But then the state say, if he was defending himself and he was the victim, it stands your ground. But when you're a felon and you go at a man while he's down and run up on him and put more bullets in him when he's laying lifeless on the ground, as they described allegedly, that's when all hell break loose. Now you took out that cloak that was protecting you. The first shot and the second decision. The first shot might be argued as self-defense, right? Maybe he was jumped. Maybe he was robbed. Maybe he felt trapped. Maybe he believes his life was in danger. That's one argument, right? But the second decision is where the case gets ugly. Because once a person is down, once the threat is stopped, neutralized, once the danger is reduced, the law starts asking, why did you keep going? That's the problem. That's the meat of this. The law may understand survival, but the law does not respect revenge. And to keep going is kissing cousins to revenge. Because the danger was neutralized, is what the law says. Standing over him charging towards him changes everything. This is the point. Everybody needs to understand. Repost says, right? After Ben 10 was allegedly hit, after he was allegedly down, after the traumatic injury happened, Allstar Jr. allegedly went back, stood over him, and fired more rounds. That is where the prosecutors eat deep into his skin. That is where they say self-defense ended and criminal intent started. Because if the man is down, if the danger is no longer active, if he's not attacking you, if he's not chasing you, then the law may say, you were not protecting life. You were punishing him for trying to take yours. And punishment is not self-defense. The aggravated factor in this, right? Now, let's break this down. Why the time jumped? A basic aggravated assault can already be heavy, right? 2 to 20 years. That alone is serious. But the case got enhanced because of the jury, the injury, the traumatic injury. The report says traumatic spine injury, irreversible paralysis, words we never even heard before until they put them in there, or it was in a movie, but it wasn't towards anybody that we even knew, just the movie characters. That changes the punishment range. That puts the case in a different category. Now the state can argue, this was not just a shooting, this was a permanent destruction. This was a life-changing factor. No matter who the victim is, if it's a fellow rapper or whoever you want it to be, that's why the number jumps from 2 to 20 years to 5 to 99 years. Or life. Why the extra shots mattered? Right? Why the extra shots that he fired mattered? The extra shots mattered because they speak even when you don't know it. The first shot may say, I was scared. The extra shots may say, I was angry. The first shot may say, I wanted to live. The extra shot may say, I wanted him finished. That is how prosecutors think. They do not just count bullets. They read the behavior. They look at the body language. They look at the timing. They look at the distance. They look at the man down. Then they ask the jury, was he still defending himself when he stood over a lifeless body firing? Was he doing extra? And extra is where the years live. The street code in this, right? Let's see how we're gonna break the street code in this. You know, I just feel like riding right now, right? Street code got no place in court for you to understand. Street code says, do not let nobody play with you. Street code says, make an example. Street code says, stand over business. But court says, intent. Court says, excessive force. The court says, aggravated factors. The court say permanent injury. The court says 99 years. That's the trap. Rest in peace to Allstar Jr. God forbid if he's found guilty, because they will bury him alive. Man, the streets gives you a slogan, right? The judge gives you a sentence. The block gives you claps. The prison gives you a number. And the people are steady cheering and posting and reposting, and you going viral. Go home that night. Go home at night. But you choose not to. And then when something breaks down, then you label it self-defense. Because that's what it is. Self-defense has a stop sign. Self-defense has a stop sign. That is the principle. When the threat stops, your force must stop. When the danger is over, your action must change. You cannot carry fear into revenge. You can't carry survival into punishment. You can't say, I was defending myself while standing over somebody who's already down. That is where the law says, hold up. Now we got a problem. Now we got intent. Now we got aggravation. Now we got first degree exposure. That's how fast a defense claim turns into a life sentence. Federal case is separate, right? The federal case is separate. That's totally different than the state. That was the state. Now we riding about feds. And don't forget that it's separate. He had the federal side too. The feds charged him with felon in possession. That's a separate. That's another courtroom, another judge, another sentence range that the charge may carry. Up to 15 years for the feds. So now look at the math. State side, 5 to 99 or life. Federal side, up to 15. That's pressure. You see how the feds use pressure? See how the state use pressure? This is bigger than Allstar Jr. Now we're gonna see if Allstar Jr. gonna stand tall, because right now they're gonna tell him in order to get out of this simple situation of him defending himself. He have to work. What's work, you say? Work is singing like Stevie Wonder and blind to who you throw shit on. That's work. But that's how they use the pressure from both directions. That's how one street moment turned into two systems chasing for freedom, chasing your freedom. This is why principles matter. Principles matter because emotions lie. Pride lies, fear lies, the crowd lies, internet lies. But consequences, they don't lie. A real principle says, protect your life, then stop. A real principle says, do not let ego add years. A real principle says, survive the danger. Do not become the danger. Because the second you become the aggressor, you lose the clean argument. And once the arguments get dirty, the sentence get heavy, as you're witnessing right now. Turned out to everybody been 10 in the hospital. Allstar Jr. telling them do the bend dance, wiggle your toes. All that's gonna be used in the courtroom. The law does not care about embarrassment. The law does not care. If you were embarrassed, the law does not care. If they tried you, the law do not care. If the internet laughed, the law definitely don't care. If people called you soft, the law don't care about that either. Was the threat active? Was the force reasonable? Did you stop when the danger stopped? That's it. That's the test. And if the video shows a man down, then more shots, that becomes the state's weapon, not the gun. The behavior, the decision, the extra move. The youth need to hear this, right? I know y'all used to hear me saying that, right? The youth used to hear that. Young brothers, hear me clear. Everybody wants respect until respect costs freedom. Everybody wants to stand tall until they stand before a judge. Everybody wants to prove a point until the point becomes evidence. Everybody wants to be feared until the fear turns into a sentence. That's why I speak. That's why I warn you. Because I've seen it, I've been through it. I spent 26 years of my life in there. If you don't want to believe me, keep listening to this fly Ron G beat. All right? I'm going to get into that. I'm going to let you see who Ron G is at the end of this, right? Because I've seen it. One bad decision, then another bad decision, then 20 years, then life, then your mother crying, then your kids visiting you in a visiting room in a prison. Then your name becomes a case number. That's not gangster. That's a trap. The real jewel. Let's get to the real jewel in this. Here's the real jewel. The streets teach reaction, prison teaches reflection, but reflection comes late. After the cuffs, after the indictment, after the lawyer fees, after the headlines, after the judge says 99 years, that's why. You need principle early, not excuses later. You need discipline early, not regret later. You need control early, not tears later. Because once you do extra, the law does extra. And when the law does extra, the prison door opens up deeper and deeper and deeper. does not, you get what I'm saying? Let me get out of here. Been on here long enough, right? Let me close this out. Self-defense turned into destruction. So this case is not just about who started it. It's about who went too far. It's about where self-defense ended and where criminal exposure began. It's about a man down, more shots, a spine injury, irreversible paralysis, and now 99 years or life. That's the lesson. The streets might give you 1 second to react, but the court gives you the rest of your life to serve, to think about it. The streets are real, but the prison is realer. And it's not worth it. If you don't want to take it from an old washed up ex-kingpin that done did 26 years in federal prison, 26 and a half if you want to be exact. I don't even count the half. You know, the half was wherever I spent it at. You know, the half was by 6 months of good time of having wonderful dreams to escape the prison walls and keep moving. I'm gonna do a short about that later, but I'm gonna tell you about this now, Ron, because I feel like riding. Now I'm gonna tell you that at the end. Let me finish this. Let me give y'all the viral questions. I'm gonna give you that because I gotta, let's do this right. Did Allstar Jr. have a self-defense argument? Do you think that Allstar Jr. have a self-defense argument? Put that in the comments. Now, maybe, based on the reports, the first part may be argued as defense, but the problem is what allegedly happened after. The victim was already down when shots was pumped in him. Question 2. Why did the time jump up? Why do you think the time jumped up from 2 to 10, 2 to 15 or whatever to 99 years, you know what I mean, or life? Now, because the injury changed the case. A basic aggravated assault can be 2 to 20 years, but traumatic spine injury with irreversible paralysis can push it to 5 to 99 years of life. That's because you just took somebody's lifetime of mobility away, allegedly. That's what they're accusing you of. Next question, what made the case worse to you? What made the case worse to you? Put it in the comments. To me, the alleged extra shots is what they're saying, right? This is what they're saying. The alleged extra shots after Ben 10 was down. That gives prosecutors a stronger argument. The self-defense stopped and the punishment started. Fourth question, why does standing over him matter? Why does Allstar Jr. allegedly standing over NBA Ben 10 matter? Because it looks intentional. It looks controlled. It looks like domination, not survival. That's what's dangerous. In front of a jury? Next question. What is the aggravated factor to you in this, from what I broke down? What's the aggravated factor in this? The serious bodily injury, the trauma spine injury, the irreversible paralysis, and a leg use of a deadly weapon. That's what raises the legal exposure to 99 years to life. Can the federal case stack on top? Do you think they could give him more time for the federal case stacked on top of the state case? The answer is most definitely yes. The federal case is separate. Felon in possession can carry up to 15 years. That's separate pressure they putting on them. Now, from the state case, so they putting pressure on Allstar Jr. from both ends, right? What principle did he allegedly violate? What principle do you think he violated? The answer is stop when the threat stops. That's the principle in the courtroom, in the legal jargon. You're supposed to stop when the threat stops, not keep going. That's the principle. If the man is down and the danger is over, you can't do all this extra shooting because extra becomes evidence. Our next question, what does this teach the youth to you? What do you think this whole situation teach the youth to you? From what you heard here at Unique Mecca Audio and what you already know. Now, it may teach them control the second decision. The first move may be survival. The second move may be prison. That's the jewel. And I hope they paying attention to me over here, Unique Mecca Audio again. Next question, why is street code dangerous here? Put in the comments why you feel street code is dangerous here. Because the street code says, finish the problem. But law says, stop it. Defense. Street code wants pride. The court wants resentment. Last question, I'm gonna get up out of here, right? What is the hardest truth of this situation? What is the hardest truth to you of this situation? The answer, man. You can survive the street and still lose your life to the courtroom. Because one extra move can turn defense into 99 years. Is that what you want? 99 years? Now, Ron, I said I was gonna tell you a joint, Ron. Check it out, we're gonna ride. I'm sitting in traffic, Ron. Tractor trailer turns over the road, takes up both sides of the street. You know, now I'm gonna do it on Instagram. I'm gonna do it on Instagram and put it up here. I don't think y'all ready for that. Let me get up out of here. Been on here long enough already. All right, let's go. Oh yeah. All right, hold on. Let me get this right, so I can give my brother Ron G some love. You know what I mean, for putting the music together. That's Ron G. That's who did the music. So you can vibe out the Ron G. If you want any music made, parties done, whatever, that's the man. Me and Ron G go back from Building 1, Polo Grounds all day, baby. Keep it going. Ron G, one of the best that ever did it. We love you, Ron G. All right.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio, Mecca what? Mecca Audio.
Fresh out the can of 26, he back on the strip, getting back in the mix. What he mentions a gift. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops. Mecca Audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a raw in Uptown. Baby horn Uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend an ear. He started in Uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours, so we can give back to the